Did people celebrate a revival under Hezekiah? Do we need a reformation, a return to the faith that was delivered to the saints once for all? Let's begin in 2 Chronicles 30. Was the cleansing of the temple appropriately timed for Passover season? Hezekiah sent word to all Israel and Judah, and also wrote letters to Ephraim and Manasseh, inviting them to come to the temple of the Lord in Jerusalem and celebrate the Passover to the Lord, the God of Israel. The king and his officials and the whole assembly in Jerusalem decided to celebrate the Passover in the second month. They'd not been able to celebrate it at the regular time because not enough priests had consecrated themselves and the people had not assembled in Jerusalem. The plan seemed right both to the king and to the whole assembly. They decided to send a proclamation throughout Israel, from Beersheba to Dan, calling the people to come to Jerusalem and celebrate the Passover to the Lord, the God of Israel. It had not been celebrated in large numbers, according to what was written. Were invitations sent throughout the entire land of a once united Israel and Judah? At the king's command, runners were sent throughout Israel and Judah. They carried letters that said, "O people of Israel, return to the Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, so that he'll return to the few of us who've survived the conquest of the Assyrian kings. Don't be like your ancestors and relatives who abandoned the Lord, the God of their ancestors, and became an object of derision, as you yourselves can see. Don't be stubborn as they were, but submit yourselves to the Lord. Come to his temple, which he set apart as holy forever. Worship the Lord your God, so that his fierce anger will turn away from you. For if you return to the Lord, your relatives and your children will be treated mercifully by their captors, and they'll be able to return to this land. For the Lord your God is gracious and merciful. If you return to him, he'll not continue to turn his face from you." How many from Israel accepted the Passover invitation? So the couriers passed from city to city, through the country of Ephraim and Manasseh, even to Zebulun. But people ridiculed them and mocked them. Nevertheless, some men of Asher, Manasseh, and Zebulun humbled themselves and came to Jerusalem. Also the hand of God came on Judah, to give them one heart, to do the commandment of the king and of the princes by Yahweh's word. Was the celebration in Jerusalem indicative of a real reformation, a revival? A huge crowd gathered in Jerusalem to celebrate the festival of unleavened bread in the second month. A very large congregation gathered. First they removed the altars in Jerusalem and hauled off the incense altars and dumped them in the Kidron Valley. They slaughtered the Passover lambs on the 14th day of the second month. Ashamed of themselves, the priests and the Levites made themselves holy and brought entirely burnt offerings to the Lord's temple. They now took their places as laid out in the instruction from Moses, the man of God, and the priests splashed the blood they received from the Levites against the altar. Since many in the congregation hadn't made themselves holy, the Levites slaughtered the Passover lambs, making them holy to the Lord for all who weren't ceremonially clean. This included most of those who'd come from Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, and Zebulun, people who hadn't purified themselves and so hadn't eaten the Passover meal in the prescribed way. But Hezekiah prayed for them. May the good Lord forgive everyone who's decided to seek the true God, the Lord, the God of their ancestors, even though they aren't ceremonially clean by sanctuary standards. How did God answer Hezekiah's prayer, and how did the celebrations proceed? The Lord answered Hezekiah's prayer and didn't punish them. The worshippers in Jerusalem were very happy and celebrated the festival for 7 days. The Levites and priests sang praises to the Lord every day and played their instruments. Hezekiah thanked the Levites for doing such a good job, leading the celebration. The worshippers celebrated for 7 days by offering sacrifices, by eating the sacred meals, and by praising the Lord God of their ancestors. Everyone was so excited that they agreed to celebrate 7 more days. Did Hezekiah contribute to the festivities with great generosity? For Hezekiah, king of Judah, gave the assembly 1,000 bulls and 7,000 sheep for offerings, and the princes gave the assembly 1,000 bulls and 10,000 sheep, and the priests consecrated themselves in great numbers. The whole assembly of Judah, and the priests and the Levites, and the whole assembly that came out of Israel, and the sojourners who came out of the land of Israel, and the sojourners who lived in Judah, rejoiced. So there was great joy in Jerusalem, for since the time of Solomon the son of David, king of Israel, there had been nothing like this in Jerusalem. Then the priests and the Levites arose and blessed the people, and their voice was heard, and their prayer came to his holy habitation in heaven. When we, the church, build badly on Christ our foundation, is it time for a reformation, a return to building better? For no one can lay any other foundation than what has been laid down. That foundation is Jesus Christ. If anyone builds on that foundation with gold, silver, costly stones, wood, hay, or straw, each one's work will become obvious, for the day will disclose it, because it will be revealed by fire. The fire will test the quality of each one's work. If anyone's work that he's built survives, he'll receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned up, it'll be lost, but he will be saved, yet it will be like an escape through fire. Did people celebrate a revival under Hezekiah? Do we need a reformation, a return to the faith that was delivered to the saints once for all? You decide.